So as a follow-on from that report, we thought we'd get an expert's insights on North Korea's military parade. For that, I'm glad to say we're joined on Skype by Myong-hyun, Senior Fellow at the Asan Institute for Policy Studies. He joins us from Seoul. Dr. Go, good afternoon to you and thanks for joining us. So it's believed that the North held this parade to mark this big anniversary of the foundation of the regime's army. Considering this is a relatively big anniversary for the North, were you expecting a parade like this to be held? Because there was plenty of speculation one would happen prior to last night.
So there's been not just plenty of speculations, but also plenty of indications that North Koreans were planning to have hold a major parade around this date. North Korean military have been making preparations in the Mirim Airport since at least the last month, middle of last month. So there's no surprise that they finally held this parade at this point. But just a little bit of surprise is that it took them actually. The parade didn't take place on Sunday night, only like last night. And the reason is probably because of weather-related reasons. I mean, this is a major outdoor event for the North Koreans, and I think they wanted to make sure that they have the perfect weather to display some of their weaponry, as well as to have some sort of aircraft flyovers. So I think that's the reason why they delayed this parade by one day.
Okay, while we're on the subject of airplanes and whatnot, so North Korea was expected to show off the most high-tech versions of its weapons technology. Do we have any kind of inkling at all what kind of weaponry the North showed off yet? Once the footage is out, do you expect to see some new types of military hardware?
Oh, they're probably not new types of military hardware. I think they are going to display or showcase the weapon systems that they have been testing in the last 2 years, mainly the hypersonic cruise missiles, and then also rocket-launched hypersonic missile, Hwasong-8, as well as the crown jewel of North Korea's strategic weapons, which is the recently tested and failed Hwasong-17 intercontinental ballistic missile. And the reason why North Koreans are unlikely to showcase a new weapon system is because I think they have tested plenty of new systems the last couple of years, and they want to make sure that this is an occasion to celebrate not just the foundation of the North Korean military, but also as the 10th year of Kim Jong-un's taking office, as well as the 110th anniversary of the Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea's birth. So I think that's the reason why they want to. I think they want to pay attention to the scale rather than taking advantage of this occasion to showcase a brand new weapon system.
Right, and how do you expect South Korea, the US and Japan to react to this parade? We could easily argue, of course, that a parade is much more preferable than some kind of provocation like an ICBM or nuclear bomb test.
Oh, that's definitely sure. I think, when it comes to the provocations, this is the most, softest form of provocations coming from North Korea. But I think South Korea, Japan, and the United States are not going to react to the parade itself. I think they're going to react mainly to the statements that's going to accompany the parade, especially by Kim Jong-un. And I think depending on what kind of a message is contained in that statement, I think there'll be an immediate reaction from Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo. I think that's something that we have to behold. And the chances that North Korea made very strong statements regarding their development of a nuclear capability as well as the intercontinental ballistic missile capability.
Yes, still lots of unknowns at this point. And finally, just wanted to ask you, why does it seem to be the case that North Korean state media takes its time to release footage of big parades like this? In the past, there have been similar events that have only been shown on state media almost a full day later.
No, I think that this is in order to curate what kind of message they're going to send, not just to the domestic audience in North Korea, which is very much of a captive audience, but to the outside. This is a form of, outside said, is the softest form of a provocation. Even though it's very soft, it's a provocation nonetheless. So the North Koreans are taking their time to ensure that they convey the right strategic message to their, the audience outside, especially their adversaries in South Korea, United States, and elsewhere. And I think that's the reason why they want to showcase their brand new weapon systems in the best light possible. I think that's the reason why they are taking their time to ensure that the correct broadcast is going to be made.
Sure, there are a whole room full of editors furiously working right now. Dr. Go, a senior fellow at the Asan Institute for Policy Studies, thank you ever so much for joining us, and we appreciate your insights today.
My pleasure.